Active Inishowen project, IDP, together with Donegal Sports Partnership and Outscape, are hoping to establish a new dedicated walking and cycling hub in Inishowen. In fact, the Inishowen Development Partnership are inviting anyone who's interested to go along to a workshop tomorrow evening at the Colgan Hall in Carndonagh. And I'm joined now by Active Inishowen Officer Kevin McLaughlin, and from Donegal Sports Partnership, Karen Guthrie. And a very good afternoon to you both.
Hey, John.
John, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on and connecting and enlightening us, I suppose. On the surface, it sounds like a good idea. Why is a hub needed? Do people not sort of organise this sort of thing themselves, or does it not happen organically, or does a little help and organisation need to be provided? I'll throw this to you, Kevin.
I think encouragement is something that's needed. Obviously, with regards to the facilities we have around Inishowen, they're world class with regards walking, certainly, and cycling. Now we're starting to catch up with the greenways and the like. So, I think certainly there is already a great culture of walking and cycling in Inishowen. But there's demographics that we need to touch on, and maybe focus our attention to try and get people more active. And once again, this is focusing on people in the wider Inishowen community, and trying to get them active out and about, and I suppose experience what we have to offer on our own doorstep. So yeah, I think you do say there's certainly there's a culture there, but there's a certain demographic there that are doing it all the time. But it's about activating other people that maybe don't necessarily engage so much.
So, Karen, is it a case of trying to reach the non-cyclists and the non-walkers?
Yeah, absolutely, John. As you know, the focus in the sports partnership is increasing participation of people of all ages and all abilities, and the walking hub in Inishowen is no different. I suppose our motivation for the original application through dormant accounts was just that. We've a huge geographical spread here in Donegal, and Inishowen is a huge spread of an area to cover, and we're delighted, I suppose, to be able to offer a dedicated position through Kevin, to I suppose increase participation in walking and cycling, and to reach those marginalised groups. The funding is a 5-year span, so we're in year one at the minute, and delighted to be able to bring in a consultancy company like Outscape NI to be able to conduct that community consultation to assess where the needs are, and the areas of need more so. We've identified 10 communities across the peninsula there, and it's a huge piece of work to try and get into all those areas. So our first initial stages now is to see where the need lies, and there's, as Kevin said, there's already so much work done, and plenty still to do in terms of, I suppose, improving access to a lot of those walks and those trails. So it's really exciting to be able to be involved in it, and to get it kick-started. And I suppose we're partnering with Inishowen Development Partnership in that, who have a well-established, I suppose, they're a well-established community advocate there for years now. So yeah, it's really exciting. A few years ahead.
So plenty of work done and plenty still to do. It sounds like you're going to be running the next election, Karen.
Well, that'll be Kevin's job, I'd say.
Kevin, tell us what exactly is going to happen tomorrow night. You're inviting people who, of all ages and all abilities, to come along to find out more, and hopefully get this hub set up that then can be availed by anyone at any time.
Yeah, you've nailed it there straight away, John, on that we're inviting anybody of all ages, all abilities, but not necessarily people who are active, but also people who are not active, and why. And we're looking to find out what those barriers are. So I suppose, in a nutshell, the event tomorrow is a public workshop, and it's been Outscape, the consultancy firm Outscape, that actually also work with the Donegal Outdoor Recreation Strategy. They'll be leading the discussion, and it'll be a collaborative event or workshop for the participants there. And I suppose we're looking for the opportunity, or we're given the opportunity to highlight and discuss their views, their ideas, what the potential is for walking and cycling in Inishowen. And not only that, we'll obviously, we want to document that, and it'll help shape the Active Inishowen project moving forward. So, as it says, we're encouraging anybody to attend, whether you're active or non-active, and because we want to hear what barriers, why is it that you're not active, or why is it you're active? Is it a case that maybe where do you feel that we need to improve upon, what is working, what's not working, and and exploring those ideas for the future. So yeah, and it's just in case you haven't mentioned it, it's being held in Carndonagh in the Colgan Hall at 7:30 tomorrow night. And if possible, you can register your interest online as well. It's not necessarily that you have to, but we'd appreciate it just so we kind of gather idea for numbers. So you can register online, and you can find out on IDP's Facebook and all the other social enterprises across Inishowen are advertising the event. So once again, tomorrow evening in the Colgan Hall at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, and finally, Karen, when it comes to obstacles to overcome in activities like this, I mean, I'm thinking about football. And a few weeks ago, we had a football match, and it didn't set out to be walking football, but it turned out to be pretty much that. But it's, if there's a will, there's a way, and it doesn't have to be about the quality. It's not about how fast you go or how high you jump or whatever. And actually, Karen or Kevin, I'll put this to you because you recently organised an actual walking football event.
Aye, so whenever I came into I suppose started the job myself, I'm only in the door here maybe since March, and obviously a lot of my work so far has been doing a lot of research, even about governance on walking and cycling and the likes, and even just understanding what the Donegal Sports Partnership have done so far and what IDP have been doing, and obviously collaborating with everybody involved there. But I suppose one of the things I wanted to do was, my background is football, so I kind of wanted to get into the community and get active straight away. And one of the things I was hoping to do was start a walking football, I suppose, events, and we've one up and running now in Greencastle in the community centre. And actually, I was at there was an event in Letterkenny for Men's Health Week I think 2 weeks ago, and they done a walking football. And there's also been one running now in Clonmany in the community centre there. And you always find that whenever it comes to walking football, and you kind of touched on it already, people come in with this preconception and these ideas of what it may be like, or what it's not supposed to be, or what it is supposed to be. But what I find is that whenever people that do participate, you find that the age range, because you can play walking football if you're 40 or if you're over 65, and that's genuinely the type of the people that are playing it. And what you find is they kind of come in with this preconception idea of what they think it is, but they always leave with an absolute enjoyment for it, and they keep coming back. And I think it's about getting those little initiatives off the ground in the first place. And as I spoke about the Clonmany one in particular, I think there was only like 5 or 6 in the outset, but now that's not even being facilitated anymore. That's running like 12 strong organically, and they keep coming back every week, week in, week out. And those are the type of little small, I suppose, little wins that we can do to once again increase participation. And certainly for people who maybe used to play football in their day and they want to return to the game, it's a great way of getting back into it.
Absolutely. And the fact that it's walking football, excuse the pun, it sort of makes it a level playing field. In that, if you're 40 and and you're still sort of at it and well able to run and sprint and all the rest of it, or if you're 60 and well away from that sort of ability, when it's walking football, it's
it levels the playing field. It takes the athleticism out of the game completely, and that's what levels it. And then it's just you don't lose it whenever you can still find your first touch again and your passing ranges and all that kind of stuff, and that comes back naturally, like, especially if you played the game before. And even if you haven't, I mean, it absolutely levels the playing field. And the pure enjoyment that I see, it's such a buzz when you see people coming back to football that maybe haven't played before, and like, oh my goodness, I can still do it, you know what I mean? So I really encourage people to get involved.
And you never lose the will to win. The competitive
It's
streak never
unbelievable.
goes.
There's no doubt about that. And my goodness, do they get stuck in no matter what age range they are? And of course, afterwards, a tea or a coffee or in the local coffee shop after there's no punches held back. There's plenty of banter afterwards.
Yeah. Karen, you've sort of been on the sidelines, and you're not used to being put on the sidelines. But technology is great, Karen. You're able to pull in and just talk over a phone whilst you're driving. It's on Zoom. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super. And just I'm in the south of the county today, so I'm pulled in here in Donegal town, and I have another meeting in Ballantrae here now. So yeah, it's all go. As I saying, it's a huge county
Yeah.
to cover, John. But the work, it's so enjoyable, and I suppose the investment in physical activity and participation sport is greater now. So it's an enjoyable one. You couldn't call it work at all half the time.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be involved in.
And then the other side of it is, well, ultimately you're helping people, but then you're also making sure that the fewer numbers are ending up with their doctor or at A&E or. Well, one way maybe you're facilitating them getting into A&E, overall health issues I'm chatting about. It's in a way it's preventative medicine.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and the numbers don't lie. There's I suppose there's down the line there's more and more involvement. From a physical activity for health perspective under the HSC, and that there will be more investment and more involvement from the local sports partnerships who are working on the ground at community level to, I suppose, to impact those numbers around reductions and falls and things like that. And was the last couple of years, we've been delivering in the community falls prevention programs. So again, it's to try and reduce the incidence and the pressure on the health service. And there is probably a role in the community for local sports partnerships in that sense through our community instructors. So we have an active seniors program where we're engaging older adults in recreational games and social activity. So there's quite a bit of crossover too, and a lot of the stuff is quite fundamental in nature, but it has a huge impact down the line.
Yeah. Okay, for those that are interested, it is tomorrow evening in the Colgan Hall in Carndonagh, and the idea is set up a walking and cycling hub. If you're in any way interested, if you want to get involved, just find out more information and go along. It's free, but you can register online. Kevin and Karen, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thanks for your time.
John, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.